Hello and welcome to I was going to say Shifty podcast.
We'll try that one
Hello,
again.
yeah.
Well, take two.
Hello and welcome to Shifty Crab News Break, where we bring you just a pinch of the week's gaming news and discuss all those juicy games we can't wait to get our claws on. I am your host, Terry Jeffs, and joining me, as always, is the debating, dominating, campaigning, reigning Adam Very. How are you, Adam?
Hey, no, I'm good. I'm just sorry. I'm just distracted. I just look out my window to my left. There's a window over here, and across from me there is a naked man. So, which I was not expecting to see in the kitchen. So
What?
Yeah, he must be going to his kitchen and he's bollock naked.
Wait, whoa.
Right.
You just
What?
you're brushing
That's
over that too easy. Wait, across the across your what?
No, across my garden into the next garden because I'm upstairs. I can see directly into their kitchen dining room, and the light came on. So obviously something catches your eye, and I turn to what is a swinging organ of the male variety, and that's it's a bit weird. And this guy, by the way, may I point out, is about 7'5". He's so tall, and his partner is about 4'6". Like,
Jesus
so there's a big
Christ.
difference. But
Yeah.
so I just
So
turned
she's just like getting that just head height,
in the face continuously, yeah. And
just bollock swinging back and forth. Just
because he's so tall, the framing is just from basically nipples to knee. So it was just the crotch swinging,
just a glowing torso, just kind of.
Yeah. So well.
What does he think that? Can he not see that you've got some light going on in there? Does he think he's safe?
He must be able to see me record, and my blind isn't down. My blind's partly open. Like, so he can. If he looked out of his window, he would clearly see me. Because one, my room stands out because the light is purple. So two, there's movement going on. I'm wearing a bright orange like hoodie. Like
maybe he's seeing some
me.
kind of like obviously red, purpley glow from your room. And on air, like, and he's thinking, here's my moment. Get it out.
Yeah.
Well, he has put shorts on. He has come back in, so maybe he did notice me at some point and has now put shorts on.
Maybe
Maybe he realized his mistake.
I hope he doesn't watch this.
I was going to say,
for some
if he's
reason,
watching
it hasn't
this,
stumbled onto this, and he's like, "That's going to be an awkward dog walk."
Oh my God, absolutely.
They own those yappy dogs, so the like think of your dog, Vince, on steroids. Like there's two of them, and it's just all day barking at each other. Going
at
Couldn't stand it now.
Anyway, that's not gaming news. I'm sorry.
That's not gaming news.
No, that's not gaming news.
Anyway, joining us as always, also is the best beard in the business, Mr. Vince Haley.
Good evening, Terry.
How are
A
you?
lovely day. Doing great. I didn't get Dr. Manhattan, so I'm doing good.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
No naked guys looking at you through your window. No. You can't have it.
I got blinds up, so it's fine. No,
you're missing out.
I imagine it like in Friends. It was
ugly naked guy.
Yeah, ugly naked guy.
Ugly naked guy.
There you go. He's going to be.
I'm not going to get a stick.
He's going to be a constant kind of guest character in Shifty Crab. So,
yeah.
But moving on to even bigger announcements than naked guys swinging dong across from Adam's window. We're going to talk about a little bit about...
I didn't know where you're going. It's just the way you went swinging dong.
Yeah.
That was the word that we went to.
That's where we went. That's where we went.
I appreciate it. I respect
We're going to be talking about Valve announcing their Steam Deck handheld. And this is literally hot off the press right now.
Yeah,
we're taking this over at PCgamer.co.uk or PCgamer.com. But I have not seen anything about this. You pinged this over to me a little while ago, Adam. I see the headline. I was like, holy shit. But I've not seen any of the details. But this is big. And I believe, if memory serves me right, we brought this up in a news break not too long ago about the rumors about this.
Mm-hmm.
And the excitement of like, oh yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Like having a device like that too. That was it. Because we said like, it's a no-brainer. Why have they not done this all this time ago? They had the Steam machines. Why not? You've got the Steam library there. Just let's have it on the go.
Oh yeah.
So let's find out. This is by Tyler Wild over at PC Gamer. Valve will start shipping a new handheld gaming device called Steam Deck in December 2021. According to Valve, the device is an AMD powerhouse, which can run the latest AAA games. The chunky black rectangle includes a 7-inch 1280 by 800 touchscreen, trackpads like the Steam controller, and a gyroscopic control. On the software side, Steam Deck runs on a new versions of Steam OS and Linux-based operating system. Valve hoped to make a living room staple back when Steam machines were a thing. That doesn't mean that the Steam Deck will be limited to Linux games, though. Valve says that its Proton compatibility software has been vastly improved and works with anti-cheat systems. You'll be able to play Windows games that don't have official Linux support, put simply. You can also tinker with the Steam Deck, but it isn't a locked box, and even use it as a regular PC by plugging it into a monitor and peripherals. Browse the web, watch streaming video, do your normal productivity stuff, install some other game stores, whatever, says Valve. An optical USB-C dock will provide DisplayPort and HDMI output, an Ethernet adapter, and 3 USB inputs. This seems too good to be true, doesn't it? It's just like, well,
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the catch. If you want, you can even kick Steam OS off of the device and install Windows or something else. Quote, we don't think people should be locked into a certain direction or a certain set of software that they can install, Valve designer Lawrence Yang told IGN. If you buy a Steam Deck, it's a PC. You can install whatever you want on it. You can attach any peripherals you want to it. Maybe a better way to think about it is that it's a small PC with a controller attached as opposed to a gaming console. There's full list of the specs. I'm not going to go into that. One potential disappointment is battery life. Valve says that the Steam Deck's battery will last for several hours while playing most games, and it maxes out at 8 hours in lighter use cases like game streaming, smaller 2D games, or web browsing. At a minimum, it should last 2 hours playing a resource-intensive game. Hope your airplane seat has an outlet then. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
A quick suspend resume function will let you pause the Steam Deck and send it to sleep mode, and then quickly wake it up to go back to your game when you're ready, when you're plugged in, for example. Steam Deck price and availability. The Steam Deck starts at $399 for a 64 gigabyte version. There's also a 256 gigabyte version for a $529, sorry, and a 512 gig version for $649. The more expensive versions also feature faster NVMe storage, and in all 3 versions, storage can be increased with a micro SD card. Nice. Valve boss Gabe Newell said that picking a price for the Steam Deck was painful, but that ultimately the device had to be powerful enough to perform well. Quote, our view is if we're doing this right, we're going to be selling these in millions of units, and it's clearly going to be establishing a product category that ourselves and other PC manufacturers are going to be able to participate in, said Newell. And that's going to have a long-term benefit. They're going to have long-term benefits for us. So that's the sort of frame in which we're thinking about this. Starting this Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, Steam Decks will be available for reservation on Steam for a $5 deposit. Valve plans to start shipping them in December. Wow.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Adam, what were your initial thoughts when you saw this?
Well, it's a no-brainer in the sense of Steam stepping into this market is a perfect fit, really, because they have so many games, obviously, on the Steam marketplace and the Steam library that work so well as a handheld game. Like, there's a few things that I don't like about this, but mainly the button layout, if you've actually looked at it, is ridiculous. Like, everything is at the top, and you've got a trackpad, which is, we'll see how that works. Your 2 analog sticks at the very top, and then your buttons right next to the analog sticks on either side. Like, feels like everything's going on the top, and then nothing below.
Reminds me of the Game Gear.
A little bit. I feel like it's going to be a really awkward one to hold. The battery life isn't great, but the games that you're going to be able to play on this kind of dictate that anyway. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. And if I presume this is going to make Nintendo a little bit worried about sales going forward, that there is going to be a competing handheld option. I just wish the Vita was still around, really. To be involved in this.
It
All
is.
this
It is. If you have, I've not got it next to me. It's up in my bedroom. But if you have faith, the Vita will always be with you. Vince.
Yeah.
Or what's your take on this? Has this got you excited, or are you?
I mean,
not feeling it.
We've been through this with Valve before with the Steam machines. They went head to head with the consoles and lost hard. Like, I think that thing was only on sale for like a couple months before they backed out of it. I don't see your average gamer picking this up because, hey, I want to play my Steam games on the go. I mean, we're already console-based gamers anyway. And Xbox is entering the kind of handheld market with Game Pass in the cloud. We already have the Nintendo Switch, which is both portable and on your TV as is. I don't know. I guess only time will tell with this, because this is interesting. Like, I think my favorite tweet I saw today was a hard drive tweeting out, Valve announces the Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, come on. But we'll see. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to run super well for long with a 2-hour battery life for an intense game, and 8 hours if you're just like browsing the internet, which is cool. Like
playing solitaire.
Yeah, like
if
I like that, but why not just get a tablet?
Sorry, yeah. with like a Switch, like what's the most graphically demanding game on the Switch right now?
Breath of the Wild.
I mean, Breath of the Wild, or pretty much anything Nintendo, because they're very good at making, 720p look incredible.
Yeah. Witcher 3 must take a lot of power as I guess.
Would like Doom Eternal, is that not like pushing it on that kind of side of things, or?
I mean, yeah, but there are restrictions there for sure. Like,
what I'm trying to think of is like whatever those games are, what does the Nintendo battery life look like? What would the Switch battery life look like with those games being played?
Oh, I mean, not good.
Terrible, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like with Apex, for example, the battery life is only a couple of hours.
Yeah, so it's in line with that then. Like, it's the same kind of thing.
It's about in line, yeah. I mean, it really depends, because I think when I was playing Hades handheld, it lasted probably 4-ish hours before I plugged it in.
It's not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, barring that's not a super intense game in terms of like graphics and everything going on, but still, like, if you're playing portable anyway, you're probably only playing for like a couple hours at most, which I don't really see.
4 hours is that sweet spot.
Oh yeah,
and that's what you want from a handheld console. Is probably 4 hours from fully 100% charged to dead, like, because that's going to get you through a lot of flights, a lot of journeys, like, and maybe you just need to do it. And let's face it, most flights now have like outlets and stuff like that, so it's not you're never really 4 hours away from anything. But the thing here is, are they going to price themselves out of the market? Because this is what was this? What did you say? $499
for the cheapest version, which is only 64 gigabytes, which again is another sticking point for me, because like that's not a lot.
No.
Yeah.
But you can have
that's a Call of Duty update.
Yeah.
SD cards. That's the biggest thing. I mean, SD cards are not exactly
cheap.
Oh, they're not cheap either. Yeah,
they're not cheap, but they're not. They're not super expensive, aren't we? We're not talking like Vita memory cards here. You know what I mean? It's like,
but if you wanted to play, let's say, Call of Duty on this, you ain't going to be able to, because your update file is going to be over 2 SD cards. Like unless you go for like the terabytes and the like, if you can maybe attach an external hard drive, but then you've got that swinging around, or you'd have to. I don't know. I think if you're pricing yourself at $500 for the cheapest option, which is more expensive than the cheapest PlayStation 5, and I think more expensive than the cheapest Xbox Series S, sorry. Or I don't even know how much the X is.
The X is $599.
$599. So yeah, so it's the same price as the Series S, and more expensive than the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
It better be the second coming of games, really, because otherwise people are going to be like, I've got a PC. I'll just play these games on my PC and I'll play it in Nintendo Switch. It's got to be value for money to get people to use it, I think. And I think they're going to price themselves a little bit too high. But they do have a great catalog of games to say, yeah, you can play all of them straight away. Like,
that's the thing, isn't it? It's just it's that library, isn't it? It's like, for even myself, like, see, I've not done any PC gaming in such a long time because as you guys know from where I keep cutting out, my PC is just like, it's past it. I need to update my PC. But I've got literally hundreds of games on Steam. Like if I got this thing tomorrow, like, you know, obviously, like, hypothetically, I could literally just start playing so much stuff. You know, just the idea of playing the whole Half-Life series on a handheld is just really appealing. But then, like you say, it is a big layout, and this isn't going to be the kind of thing. There's no way this is going to be competing against the Switch. It's going to be a very niche thing, as pretty much all PC gaming is. It's still PC gaming in its whole is a very niche thing. Like when you're comparing it to you know, consoles and you know, this is just a very much like kind of a smaller bracket of that. But I do think that they've gone for it a lot more approachable than I thought they would have. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have thought that would even get. If you would have told me that Steam was making a handheld, I wouldn't even thought that they'd make one which had an option to get it at $599. I thought it'd be just like ridiculous, like, prices. And I do think that they will bring this down. I do feel they'll probably make maybe another model that's slightly less powerful. I don't know how they can, how much they've got to play with that, but I don't know. Something tells me that this time this isn't going to be the Steam machines. This isn't going to be just kind of flash in the pan and it's gone. I feel like they're kind of committing here, but I don't know.
Which would you rather have? Sorry, Terry. If take the children out of the equation, because I know the Switch really caters to them as well.
Yeah.
But for yourself personally, you had this lump of money, whatever, £500. Which would you go for?
Currently? What, a Switch or
a Switch or this Steam?
Yeah, Switch hands down. Because for me it's the exclusives, isn't it? It's the Nintendo games. That's what I'd be getting it for. The Zeldas, Marios, you know, whatever those be. Like, I wouldn't be, if I was purchasing this, I wouldn't be purchasing it for anything in particular. It's just like a nice, like, extra thing, isn't it? It's just like, oh, that'd be cool. Just to, what I do see it competing up against is whatever the Switch Pro is, you know, because I honestly don't see where they can price a Switch Pro. Right, really, you know, like, if they want it, if it's going to be what everyone wants it to be, with this like 4K like screen, it's going to have, like, you know, be able to play, you know, whatever I don't know what the expectation is for people with the Switch Pro and like what kind of games it can run, but if it's anything like this, then it's going to be in the same ballpark of price. I don't see how they could. It's just hard to do, isn't it? How do you make this kind of thing and try and turn a profit on it? But yeah, hands down would be a Switch for me.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing.
Go on, Vince.
And like, I'm trying to find a use for the trackpad. I mean, you got a touchscreen already. You know, you also have joysticks. You have a touchscreen, and then you have two trackpads for what?
Isn't it the same as their control? Like, because I've never used the Steam controller, but doesn't the Steam controller not have analog sticks, or does it have analog sticks now? Because it had those pads on it. It's haptic feedback. So I don't think they're like normal trackpads. I think they kind of send a kind of vibration back, don't they? You can actually feel.
On the video I'm watching of the launch thing, they're using the trackpads to aim, and they're also using it to click. So I think you can use it like a left and right mouse button as well as the other controller. And it's got, obviously, you've got your top buttons as well like your L1, your R1, and then there's also 2 other buttons on the back of the controller as well on either side. So in total, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 buttons, a D-pad, and 2 analog sticks. Plus your menu buttons and your pause buttons, whatever those 2 buttons are as well. There's a lot of buttons on this thing.
So yeah, the Steam controller has 1 joystick on it.
1 joystick, okay.
Which makes no sense.
2 trackpads.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I think this is one of the hard things for Steam to do this, because obviously some of their games have they're just bringing their whole library to this, they're going to have ways that you can play it if it's supposed to be on a PC. Like it's going to be interesting. Surely you're not going to be able to play every game that's on Steam on this, because some games involve typing. No. You're not going to be able to do that unless a keyboard's going to come up on the screen. And
yeah, but remember, you said you can use this like a normal PC. You can plug peripherals into it.
So then it's not. Then it becomes less of a handheld if you're plugging in a keyboard as well.
Yeah. But I mean, like, for whatever, I don't know what games they are, but for
no,
whatever
of course,
games,
yeah.
The
next thing would be like, if you want more power, then you just bring a power unit. Like you bring a, like eventually you're gonna have a computer. Like I want it to be good because the premise is great and the Steam library obviously is fantastic. It's the only thing that gets close to rivaling like Game Pass with some of the stuff that they have on there. Like, but I don't know. I'm a bit.
The thing that interests me about this is that they're leaving it open to put any software, or they said other game stores on there. Does that mean that you could essentially play your Xbox games through this, or anything? You know what I mean? Like anything? Like, could you?
I'm interested in
use it as a way to play any cloud-based game, or?
Well, the buttons are YXAB.
Yeah.
They are
They're in the right order,
Xbox,
though, right?
They are the Xbox. Yeah, they're the Xbox buttons.
Oh, so,
I mean, people will be jailbreaking the hell out of this thing. Like, you'll be able to do everything on it. Like, but I just want to know what you'd actually be able to do officially without.
Well, you can now use PlayStation 5 controllers with Xbox.
Yeah,
you see that? Yeah, the world is healing.
But hey, we'll have to watch this space and see what happens. But it's interesting, very interesting to say the least. I did not see this happening this soon.
It'll be interesting to see how long it takes to charge. USB-C?
That's it.
I think it's USB-C. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, USB-C with DisplayPort, alt mode up to. I assume it just has a wired connectivity USB-C with DisplayPort.
Okay.
Well, yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
There you go. We shall wait and see more from Steam. But moving on to our next story, GTA Online's next update is all about going fast in cool cars. This is over at Polygon by Cass Marshall. The next update to GTA Online is called Los Santos Tuners and is set to arrive on July 20th, which is in
5 days.
5 days.
4 days when they're watching this.
That's correct. Rockstar Games announced this Thursday. As you can probably guess from the title, this update is all about the auto part of Grand Theft Auto. Players who are into the social side of the game can go to the LS Car Meet, a new space for underground street races. This is a venue where car aficionados can go without dealing with the chaos of a public server, a safe place where you can simply show off your stylish ride. There's a test track that allows you to give your friends a car a spin, and you can demo the game's newest cars as well. The LS Car Meet comes with new races too. Some of them take place at the car meet, while others use the streets of Los Santos on a track. Of course, an update like this also wouldn't be complete without new cars. These vehicles are designed to be highly customizable and is scheduled to be released in 2 waves, so the players can mix and match to create the perfect ride. There are also illegal elements to the new arena, of course. Getaway drivers and fearless stunt riders will be able to pick up jobs that need a good solid wheelman. for GTA, 50,000 players can sign up to become a member, which unlocks a new progression track called Reputation. Level up your reputation, and you can get new benefits and rewards, like unique tattoos and merch. 10 new cars will drop on July 20th, with an additional 7 dropping over the rest of the summer. When GTA Online launches for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, some of these vehicles will be eligible for special improvements, only for people who are playing on those consoles, which will give them a nice edge. Players can expect more content this summer. Rockstar teased a look at contracts for new robberies that require some talented driving to pull off. So very Fast and the Furious, pretty much in line with the latest film coming out. This story interests me because we always keep going back to GTA Online and all the updates it's doing. And I see someone else mention this online the other day. I can't remember who it was. And the more and more I see of what they're doing with GTA Online is making me feel like I don't think we're going to get a single player GTA Online story.
You'd be wrong.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it. I don't see it. I really feel like they're going to go down this whole connected world kind of thing. Like, I reckon you can play it through solo. Like, that's fine. But I think there's going to be, it's not going to be like, the more and more we move away from it, I don't think we're going to have these two separate entities anymore. I don't think it's going to be, here's your story mode, and then here's this other game, GTA Online. I feel like it's just going to be this one thing.
Yeah.
Can you guys prove me wrong? I hope you can prove me wrong.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah. Because of mine and Adam's bet, I was looking at Red Dead 2 through the Xbox store just to see, like, there was a sale going on, but not a great sale. But they're also selling the Red Dead Online separately for $15. So they may already be testing the waters for something like that, like selling the single player story with multiplayer by itself for, let's say, $70 for the next gen version or whatever. And then you can just buy the online separately by itself for half the price, maybe less. So I wonder if that's maybe a sign of things to come, or hopefully not. I mean, hopefully they do continue to sell as one complete package, but yeah.
They've just dropped a new, Red Dead 2 has just dropped their online update as well, haven't they? Blood Money. What is in that? What is in that, Adam? Do you, like, just extra mode? Or?
Literally, I think I have it open here. Nope, I clicked on Indiana Jones. 1 second. And
are you not interested in that at all?
Online? Well, it may have changed a bit now, but
yeah,
when it
was pretty
first
rough
came
around
out,
the edges at first, wasn't it?
Yeah, when it first came out, it was very rough around the edges. And thing I don't like about GTA Online and Red Dead Redemption Online so far is a lot of people are just out to just ruin your day. I don't like some of the missions in GTA Online where you're going around doing this stuff and it opens it up for players just to come and blow up your vehicle. When I'm trying to do a mission that's costing me money to do, like if it's a setup for a heist or something, someone can come along in their little space car or space bike, fly above me, drop a bomb, blow me up, and I lose, and I have to redo it again. And it's just, I don't like that, and that's why I don't really play them online. I have done quite a bit of GTA Online. I did all the casino stuff. I did all the stuff pretty much up to there, and then it just gets a lot, and everything costs a lot of money, like which you can get in game, and but it's still a pricey deal. Like, and then it'll be like the heist will come out. It's like, oh, but with this heist, you need to have a submarine. And to buy the submarine will cost you about £20. And it's just ridiculous. And your payoff isn't great. So I kind of gave up on it. What I think Vince is right, and I think they've talked about this before, is they will be two separate entities. There will be GTA 6 and whatever GTA Online becomes. GTA 6 Online or whatever, or whatever. It'll be set in the world of GTA 6, or it'll be set in the world of Los Santos and whatever the world of GTA 6 is. I imagine there'll be a way that you can pick where you go to. Like, so you'll be like, but
I think
I don't think the game will be that.
I think it's going to be all one thing. And it's the thing is, whatever it will be.
Well, like a live service game, you think, or do you think an actual just online game?
I think it's going to be more like a live service game. I feel like I don't see it as two separate entities anymore. I think it's going to be a game, and it might say, "Oh, how do you want to play this?" You can play like not connected to the other people. There might be an option to give you that, or you can say like, "No, like give me the full thing, what it's meant to be, whatever this is going to be." Whatever they do decide to go down, it's not going to be what we've seen before. Because that's just not what Rockstar do. They like to try and push, like, with GTA 5, it was like, okay, you're going to have 3 characters and you're going to switch between them. And that was like, whoa, like, and I thought that was obviously going to change everything. No one actually ended up doing that, copying it. Because I really like that aspect of it. I think whatever they're going to do when they release the next trailer, it's going to be like, other than obviously the visuals and the setting, that's going to, like, it's going to be a mind-blowing thing of like, oh my god, like they're doing that. I do think they're going to try and push the bar in some way, and it just seems crazy to me that they wouldn't go down more the online route with everything that they've been doing with GTA Online. I don't know how they're going to do it, and I don't necessarily want them to, because as we're very much the old school GTA players, like we kind of grew up playing these kind of single player campaigns. But I feel like a decade it will have been over a decade since GTA Online has begun. And there's just a whole new generation of players which are looking for more of that now and giving so much money to that now. I can't even imagine. Like, we always see the game in the charts and how much they're making just from selling the game. You're saying about, like, you have to pay £20 to get whatever it is, vehicle and stuff. I can't even imagine how much how much revenue this is turning over every year.
I get what you're saying. I just don't think, and maybe this is the stupid optimism in me, but I don't think that Rockstar would release a GTA that hasn't got a single player story separate to the online.
Don't get me wrong. I think it will be a single player story. I'm thinking more like you say, like a Destiny, something like that. It's like it is a very much a cinematic narrative, but it's something that you can just kind of steam through and just play it by yourself. But there is a very much interconnected thing where, I don't know, there's like a heist. There's a heist, but it's like, oh, you can do it. And there'll be AI characters, or it'll be, other people are going to jump on, or you have a party or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe they'll give you that as an option, but I think it'll be an option. So in the sense of, I can't remember what game it was, but I think it was Watch Dogs 2. You could leave your game open so AI people could either come in, even if you're in ghost mode, they could come in and drive around, or you could have it where you played the game offline, basically, even though you're online. Like, so you played the game like a single player story. I can understand that, because you got to bear in mind that GTA Online now is linked. Like, you press down on the D-pad and you zoom out and then you zoom back in with your character, albeit it takes about 3 minutes, but you zoom in with your character and continue. And they're there in your dial. So they have integrated it. It is there, but it's still a separate entity. I don't think, maybe they will. Like, maybe mine's more hope than anything, but
I hope you're right. Because that's what I want.
I think the big announcement will be that for the first time in GTA history, like, really, it will be set in one, and I'm on about properly set in more than one location. I think there'll be different areas that you can go to, not just like going to North Yankton in GTA 5 or whatever, but or the trip back to Liberty City in San Andreas. But I'm on about properly go to. Like, is what I think they'll go with. But hey, we're probably not going to know for the next 3 or 4 years.
No,
probably not. And we're probably not going to see any of Final Fantasy 16 anytime soon, because it's probably not going to be shown at the Tokyo Game Show. This is over at Rock Paper Shotgun. And the story
That's a
is
great
by
name, by the way. Rock, paper, shotgun.
Yes, I love it. I love
Yeah.
good old Rock Paper
Very
Shotgun.
good.
They are based in No, not. I was going to say Peterborough. You're in Peterborough, aren't you?
That's me. I'm the
where
only games person in Peterborough.
No, they're somewhere down south. I'm trying to think. Whereabouts? Anyway, they're cool. They're a cool site. This story is by Ed Thorne, and this says that Final Fantasy fans, I have some news that's both good and bad, and may in fact be both. You see, during a special 14-hour Final Fantasy 14 live stream, producer Naoki Yoshida slipped in some precious info about the other project he's working on, the next mainline Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 16. In short, development is going swimmingly, but it might be some time before we get our next big promised info dump on the game, which at this point probably would have been the Tokyo Game Show. Ooh. Streamer Aiti Kimochi helpfully translated parts of the Final Fantasy 14 stream, where Yoshida suggested that Final Fantasy 16 probably won't make it this year to this year's Tokyo Game Show, which runs from September 30th to October 3rd, purely because the team would like to show it off when it's closer to release. Quote, we really want to show something for the Tokyo Game Show 2021, but we probably can't make that deadline. We definitely want to show it, but isn't it better if when we do, you're able to play it right after? He added, I personally don't like it when small bits of info is released to string people along. And that Square Enix, quote, want to reveal something where people will say, I want to play it now, release it now. Anyway. What was it say here? Sprinkled throughout the rest of the live stream, Yoshida also said that Final Fantasy 16 scenarios were set in stone already, and that voice recording for the English version was in its final stages. Overall, he believes that development is going well, but that they're putting a ton of effort into make sure the quality is great. I mean, even if we don't see it at TGS, it's comforting to know it's in a good place, especially after the development debacle that was FF15. So yeah, a little bit of a shit one here, because I was kind of half before we got the state of play announcement, and obviously they announced what was going to be in it. I thought maybe we was going to get the state of play with a little bit more, just I want to see a little bit more, like a little trailer for 16, but seems we're not going to be getting that probably this side of October. And Adam, I know you're absolutely just dying to play this game.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad, Terry. I'd like to take this moment to thank all the people who've wished me well during this difficult time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this again goes on to, there's been a whole pattern this week, and every week we seem to record, we just get delay after delay after delay. I think you mentioned, what was the game you mentioned before we went on air?
It wasn't a delay, just that we weren't going to see anything at EA Play from any of the Star Wars games in development.
Yeah.
But they're looking forward to showing them next year.
Exactly. And it's just the same story. Again, this isn't a delay. It's just that obviously things are just taking longer than they would normally. And that's even for a Final Fantasy game, which normally, as it mentioned, 15 was just absolutely crazy. But hey, at least I know now not to get my hopes up. And I know now that they don't want to show too much until they actually are closer to release, which I like. I like the way they're going with that. Let's just kind of wait and see.
So does that mean we might get something at the Game Awards at the end of the year?
Could be. That could be a good time. That could be a good time to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Would
normally, is that normally November or December, Vince?
It's usually like December, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I want to say it's December.
That would be perfect if they could get that lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And also, moving on to more PlayStation news. PlayStation website references Gran Turismo 7 beta test. It's by Tom Phillips at Eurogamer. PlayStation's Experience website currently lets you try and redeem access to an unannounced Gran Turismo 7 PS5 beta. It's likely the page, first spotted by GT Planet, was not yet intended to go public. Eurogamer has verified the process of receiving a beta key works, though the code we received appears to be a placeholder. If you want to try it yourself, head over to the Experience PlayStation website and choose related campaigns and Italia Quest, and then watch 10 seconds of the embedded GT7 trailer. PlayStation is yet to detail its plans for a Gran Turismo 7 beta, but its apparent existence should not come as too much of a surprise. GT Sport also got a beta before its release back on PS4. So when could we see a GT7 beta for real? Well, that all depends when GT7 actually arrives. Back in February, Sony set expectations by pushing GT7 back to a vague 2022 launch window. At the time, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan said the pandemic had impacted GT7's development, meaning it would miss the original 2021 release target. We've asked PlayStation for more. Guys, are we going to see a big trailer or info dump on GT7 at TGS?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think so.
I am hopeful. I am actually itching for this game now. And even if I'll be happy if they just give us, normally with Gran Turismo, they give us either like the beta, or they give us like a prologue, a version, just something just to whet our appetite. Like I remember when I got GT5 prologue. God damn, I played that game to death before the actual GT5 came out. I just something just to, even just a selection of cars, a couple of tracks, just let me know what this thing looks like, what it plays like. I'm happy. I would just keep ripping around the same track with the same vehicle and just trying to beat my time. I remember when PS3 first launched and it come with GT HD. I don't know if you guys remember that. And it was wasn't fantastic, but it was like a little step up from GT4. But it was just cool. I just it was the first GT we had on that console, and I just played the hell out of it. But I want to see more of this. Vince, do you play any Gran Turismo, or is it not really your thing?
No, racing games and sports games are not my thing.
No,
not at all. I mean, if it looks anything like the one game Forza Horizon does, I'm sure it'll look great. Like they're putting a lot of time and effort into this game, especially since it's been delayed. So
they got up their game. They got up their game because Horizon, that's the benchmark, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's changed, hasn't it, over the last? You'd say probably the last decade. It's been going. Forza has been building and building and building, and Forza Horizon especially. And now you'd say that Forza is the pinnacle of racing games on consoles at the moment. Formula One does a really good job and has a huge player base. But Forza, especially Horizon, has a massive player base and is GT kind of has to up its game again and come back and try and take that crown back, because they are the two. With this whole console generations, it's Gran Turismo, Forza, and it's whether it's Horizon or Motorsport. The Horizon is the next one, obviously. Which is going to be the better game. I used to love Gran Turismo, but I prefer racing on Forza.
I think Gran Turismo has been playing catch up ever since the Forza series started. To be honest, did the first Forza come out? Wait, was that on
Xbox 360?
360. So that would have been So it would have been. I think
because there's Project Gotham Racing, wasn't there?
Project Gotham Racing. I love PGR. That's so
there's
good.
PGR.
Yeah,
and then Forza kind of came along.
I think Gran Turismo 4 was the last one where it was held the crown, so to speak. Gran Turismo 4 was the one where it was the pinnacle of that series. And then literally in between Gran Turismo 4 and now, you've had two Gran Turismo games. And there's been how many Forza games and how many Forza Horizon games?
A lot.
Yeah, and even GTA 5. I'm not GTA, GT5. I played a lot of GT5, but there was a lot of that came out post Forza, which had all of this damage and all the way you could do stuff with the vehicle and look inside the vehicle. And Gran Turismo, you still didn't have any damage, and it was criticized for that. But there's something about, I'm not a big car driving guy. I'll find there'll be certain games that I'm drawn to. There's something about Gran Turismo where it's a bit it's not even just the driving for me. It's like a collecting game for me.
Yeah.
It's like and it's like really like, and I'm not even like a petrol head or anything like that. I love certain motorsports stuff, but it's like I love how nerdy it gets with the cars. Like you'll just buy like an old like weird car from like the 1930s or something like that, and then you have it in your garage, and there'll just be all these details about it, just so much stuff, like literally a encyclopedia on this one car, and you can just tell like they've painstakingly gone into the detail of like on the inside of it, on the outside, and I just love that. It's almost like Pokemon, like but for cars, you know, got to collect them all kind of thing. And I love all that. And I love going to the old car dealerships and seeing what I can find and what conditions it's in. That's what I love from Gran Turismo. It's just that kind of stuff. It's finding a really little niche stuff. I think Forza, it's more just like, okay, because obviously they don't have as big as car collection. Let's just go for like.
Well, you say that Forza's getting.
What do they have now typically? I mean, because back in like even Gran Turismo 4, it had like thousands of cars, just insane.
Yeah, it's not thousands, but let's see currently how many cars are in Forza Horizon, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. But then I've got 2 points just quickly to make. Forza Horizon 4 numbers. Number of cars in Forza Horizon. Okay, that's 2018, and they've added a lot. In 2018, they had over 500 cars.
That's a good number.
But that was 2018, and there's been a lot of DLC since.
Yeah.
But the thing I was going to say is, there's a reason, though, that Gran Turismo is still the one used for competitive racing, and it's the one that they're going to use for gaming Olympics.
Yeah.
It's still the one that they go to because it's got the most realism, apparently. Yeah. And the second thing, you were talking about being nerdy and car collecting. Well, let me tell you, I jumped around like a schoolgirl this week when on Twitter popped up that Test Drive Unlimited.
Wow.
Is back.
Test Drive. Is it coming back?
It's got a new game coming out in Japan.
Wow.
It's coming back. It's coming, a whole new next gen and current gen and previous gen. It's coming out. I think it's this year. And I got excited. I remember driving around Hawaii, like in my Ferrari and in my Lotus, just driving around.
I mean, that goes back to like, that was like PS1, the first test drive, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's gone back. Yeah, they've done like, I think they did Ibiza at one point. Like, but yeah, they're going to Japan. And it's apparently it's a 1-for-1 scale.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to driving around.
That'll be good.
Though if it's Japan, surely it's just traffic everywhere.
Yeah.
You won't be going very fast. But they've it's got a title to it. Apparently there's a bit more beef to it now. But
Sounds good. Sounds good. Test drive. Wow. Take me back.
Vince has just glossed over.
Yeah. He's like, what is this Test Drive Unlimited?
Vince has gone and cooked his dinner. He's like, let him talk about cars for a bit.
Well, I wanted to test out the Experience PlayStation thing to get this beta code, but not working for me.
Vince is
I'm on the Experience
downloaded
PlayStation
beta.
thing.
He's in.
Yeah, I wanted to
because
do
Sony
some
know
research.
that you're an Xbox fanboy. So they're like, no, he's on the green side. Like, he doesn't get to be part of this beta.
There are no videos at this time, no quests, and no rewards available.
So the game's really finished then.
Cool.
And no damage.
The best thing as well, like I was going to say about Gran Turismo, is that you can almost always buy your own car, which I always try to do. Get my own car, get it in the color I've got it, and just rip that thing around a track just to see how far I could push my own car.
You can push the digital one and not your
exactly.
Your one.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of things that came out in the 90s, like Test Drive Unlimited, SpongeBob Rugrats star in Smash Bros. Style fighting game. This is over at Eurogamer by Tom Phillips. If Nintendo and Nickelodeon got in a fight and that fight was turned into a video game but without any Nintendo characters, well, that's Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. is the latest take on the Super Smash Bros. Style of fighting games, this time filled with classic cartoon characters. Nigel Thornberry, SpongeBob and Patrick, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Helga from Hey Arnold, Reptar from Rugrats, and Powdered Toast Man, oh yeah, from Ren and Stimpy, have all been pulled out of Nickelodeon's vault for the occasion. The full character roster is yet to be revealed. The game's official website teases more to come, but will also include fighters from Nickelodeon shows like The Loud House, Invader Zim, Danny Phantom, and Are Real Monsters. Expect 20 stages at launch, plus single player and local online co-op. How similar does it look to Smash Bros? Very. There's a simple Final Destination-like stage. There are familiar kinds of stage hazards. Nigel Thornberry looks like he's taken a leaf out of Luigi's fighting style. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl isn't the first Smash Bros. Clone, and it likely won't be the last. It's headed to Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox this autumn. What were your thoughts on this when you saw this, Vince?
Yeah. Watching the trailer right now on the site, and boy, this is just Smash Brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, Smash Bros. Yeah, just like PlayStation All-Stars before him.
Yeah.
I gotta say, when I see that you could be Powder Toast Man and no doubt Ren and Stimpy, and they've chucked in even like Reptar from the Rugrats, and like I'm just loving all the little characters that they're chucking in here. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that I don't really know about because it was like past my kind of Nickelodeon days. But for me, I'm in it for like the real monsters, for the Rugrats, for the Ren and Stimpy, TMNT. I love this character roster so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring soon.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the problem with the PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is it came out in a time where you don't really have many PlayStation mascots to kind of play around with. But this, like, Nickelodeon has a lineup of so many characters to pull from that I can't wait for the Nickelodeon Direct for new character announcements for DLC. That's going to be exciting.
Great.
I just want to play Ren and Stimpy. I'm not even being honest. Like, if I see Ren and Stimpy in anything, I'm in. It's like my favorite cartoon, like as a kid ever. So I still watch the DVDs now.
I just want SpongeBob versus Chucky Finster from Rugrats.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's all I want.
Yeah,
like Chucky Finster, like
I mean, it's
hop on.
It's a shameless clone. Whatever. I mean, you can't improve on greatness. It's like Smash Bros had like perfected this genre. You know, go with it. I want to see another PlayStation All Stars. Give me it. There could be such a great roster of characters we can chuck in it now. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it, Tony.
Absolutely.
Be like Nike
and
just
God
do
of
it.
War in there.
Yeah, good.
There's a lot of
who was the I didn't really play. I think I played it for like a short amount. Also, I've got it on my Vita and be PS3 All Stars. But who was in it? You had Sly Cooper.
Yeah, Kratos.
Yeah,
Kratos. Sackboy, but they didn't even bother putting in like Crash or Jack and Daxter or.
No,
you know what I mean,
Nathan
it's
wasted
wasted opportunity. Come on.
So wasted.
Even at that point, there was a lot of more like iconic PlayStation characters.
I mean, now you got Knack.
Snake was
in it. Sackboy again. You got Astrobot. Come on.
Oh, Astro.
PlayStation character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could chuck in the who's the main guy from Ghost of Tsushima? You could have Joel in there as well.
Ellie, Abby.
Ellie.
Yeah,
lots of them. Yeah.
I mean, it's just you could just keep going, couldn't you?
You could. Yeah, Aloy.
Aloy would be a great character to have in there.
Okay.
There's quite a few.
Absolutely. What's the From Software game, Vince, where it's set in the old Victorian like
Bloodborne?
That's the one. Bloodborne, PS1, demake project shows off full boss fight. Have you seen this, Vince?
I've seen like the one where they did the Celtic Beast, but I've not seen the Father Gas going one.
Such a sucker for
Mhm.
these PS1 remakes. I love them. I love them when people
Mhm.
go as far as making the cover art and the cases and stuff like that. But I don't know what it is about this style of game, like the early polygonal graphics of the PS1. I just love it. And Adam, if you haven't watched this yet, just play this while
I'm
we're
currently
chatting.
watching it now.
And obviously, I haven't played this Father Gascoigne fight, and I know it's like everyone talks about this. Is this like the earliest boss fight, Vince, or is it?
It depends. So
Okay.
it can be either the first boss fight or the second, depending on if you skip Cleric Beast or not.
But they like this I was watching it, just got absolutely dumbfounded. Like, how did they do it? They've made this in Unreal Engine,
So good.
Yeah.
and everything down to the sounds, everything. It's like, yep, this is a PS1 game. Like, and I want to play it.
Yeah.
They just got it. Just the way that everything moves, that the juddering of the of the textures, and it's just so good.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so good.
It looks fantastic.
But are they actually building this as an actual whole game, or are they just taking parts of it? And
I'm guessing it's just a concept, isn't it?
But anyway, I'm gonna read for anyone obviously that's not watching this. I'll read it out. So remember, this is by Emma Kent over at Eurogamer. She says, remember that Bloodborne PS1 demake project that imagined what the game would look like if it had been transported back through the console generations? Well, the team has provided us with another update video to show their progress. And they've now managed to recreate an entire PS1 style boss fight in Unreal Engine 4. Developer Lilith Walther, who's an Unreal Engine 4 tech artist and also lead programmer on indie JRPG Wedge, shared a video of the boss fight on Twitter. It shows the player taking on Father Gascoigne and features cutscenes, destructible gravestones, and music produced on a Roland SC88 for maximum authenticity. You can take a look at the video below. It's seriously impressive work, and personally, I think the atmosphere is the PS1 version of the PS1 version feels even spookier than in the original game. The comparison video showing the same cutscene in Bloodborne and the demake is well worth a watch. The project will eventually release as a free fan game, although as of yet there's no word on a release date. The team isn't demaking the entire game. Oh, there you go. However, with the plan being to cover up until the Gascoigne fight and hopefully up to Vicar Amelia. You can keep an eye on the progress via the mod team's Discord, where I'd thoroughly recommend checking out a video of the Gascoigne fight with CRT effects cranked to maximum spook levels. Yeah, it's just so cool, bro. I love it.
Very good.
Very, very clever.
That's great.
Moving on to a final little piece that I just wanted to chuck in here. I actually wanted to speak about this because this come up literally, I think, as we were filming the last news break. I just thought it was so funny. Sony pulls ad featuring upside down PS5. This is over at Kotaku by Ian Walker. Sony posted an ad on Twitter this morning showing a dad capping off his day by playing some God of War. Typical fare as far as these things go, except that the video also featured an upside down PlayStation 5. Gasp. After the fans pointed this out, the tweet got deleted with no explanation for its removal. But come on. Sony did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but its marketing for the PS5 had been crystal clear about how to set up a horizontal console. The bulging disk drive goes on the bottom, not at the top, facilitated by a plastic stand that keeps the console from rocking on its uneven side. Never mind the fact that the PS5's ostensible top is the only flat surface on the dang thing, a choice that makes it look like you're supposed to rest it on that side. For some, the design has proved puzzling. I don't know if you saw this. I actually watched the advert, and it's actually a good advert, and it's just like, oh no. Can you imagine how... I don't know who made this mistake, but can you imagine how infuriated you'd be that you've made this really cool advert and then under the TV, there's just this PlayStation 5 upside down with the disc drive on the wrong side? It's just hilarious.
Jesus. It's
right.
such an error, but you know what? Clearly, the person directing this didn't have a clue what was going on. Just put it in there. It's like when you see people when they show them playing games and
and they're like,
what they're doing is nothing like what they're doing.
Oh yeah, and they're just doing the whole like.
What are you doing?
Shit.
What is that?
Yeah, you know what? I enjoy it. It makes me laugh. Like it's so. I hate people when they get too anal about it and be like, "Oh my god, what they're doing? This is stupid. It just shows the company blah blah blah." Listen, the guy directing this will have directed a million different things. Doesn't know the first fucking thing about PlayStation 5. Like, he's there doing his job, and it's giving us something to laugh about. Just enjoy it.
And honestly, if you have never seen a PlayStation 5 horizontal, that would look right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's to me, that's how it probably should look because you put the disc in. Obviously, every console ever, the disc drive's at the top. So,
yeah,
I mean,
just proves the point that the disc version of the PS5 is the inferior, uglier version. But there you go. But moving on. No, that's it. That's all of our stories.
No, it's not, Terry. Because as always,
to the end of the show,
we have some breaking.
He's doing it again, Terry.
News.
Doing it again.
We have some breaking news, and this is actually breaking news.
What's he got? What's he got?
By breaking news, we just haven't included it in the news, so I don't think you guys have seen it. But I saw this morning.
Okay.
I forgot to talk to you guys about it. Netflix plans to offer video games in a push to go beyond film and TV this year. So they are going to start to offer game streaming.
Game streaming, because I'm sure we mentioned this a while ago about them trying to enter in the space. Yeah. Come on, then, give me some details, Adam.
So this is over at Bloomberg, by Lucas Shaw and Mark Gurman. It's a lengthy article, so I'm just going to read the hook here. Netflix Inc. is making its first big move beyond TV shows and films, and is planning an expansion into video games, and have hired former Electronic Arts and Facebook executive to lead the effort. Mike Verdu will join Netflix as Vice President of Game Development, reporting to the Chief Operating Officer Greg Peters, the company said on Wednesday. Verdu was previously Facebook's Vice President in charge of working with developers to bring games and other content to the Oculus virtual reality headsets. The idea is to offer video games on Netflix's streaming platform within the next year. According to a person familiar with the situation, the games will appear alongside current fare as a new programming genre. Similar to what Netflix did with documentaries and stand-up specials, the company doesn't plan to charge extra for the content, said the person, who has asked not to be identified because of the deliberations are private. So there you go. It looks like they're going to share and create. And then I saw another quote from Netflix basically confirming this and saying every form of entertainment and tech is competing for your attention at using tech. So their argument is that if you're watching something on Netflix, but you go somewhere else to play a game, you don't come back to Netflix for a while. So do it all on Netflix is what they're saying. So
I can't.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. I don't see them. I don't see this lasting long. I think they're going to give it a go, see what they can do, experiment a little bit. But I think it's going to be the same thing we've seen from Google, that we've seen from Amazon, where I know Amazon are quite early into their Luna. Is it Luna, their streaming service?
Yeah.
But that's a shit show in itself. Me and Vince have covered that on this news a few times.
But you feel like, these big companies, they're ahead of the game with a lot of things they're doing. They've got the money. Like, why not? But I just think that now I think that the marketplace is at its kind of capacity with these kind of big.
There's no more saturation to have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And everyone involved in it now, whether it be PlayStation, or Xbox or Nintendo, they've been in it so long that they know how the industry works. They've got the connections with the developers, and I for someone to come in with no previous experience in it now, they can have a go, but I just think it's not that easy. I mean, if Google couldn't do it. Exactly. Yeah. And I didn't include it in the news today, but I saw something like they're trying to they're trying all new ways to give developers incentives to develop on their console. It looks to the point where almost like begging,
Well, they are begging.
Yeah, say if you get them and if you can get them subscribed to Stadia, then you get these as this. But come on, like they can't even do it themselves. How do they expect people to make games for them?
But Terry, and this may only appeal to the British viewers. So sorry for leaving you out on this one, because I don't think you had it. But we all
know what you're
know
going to say
that a TV or company had the best game of all times. Like, I'm talking about Beehive Bedlam on Sky.
Don't start me with that shit.
Beehive Bedlam was an incredible game. When you're like 11.
Beehive Bedlam was an inferior Buster Move. Or
Buster Move was incredible.
I should say like Puzzle Bobble, whatever you want to call it, copy. Everyone would go on about Beehive Bedlam. I'm like, have you not played Buster Move 2 on the PS1? That is
Buster Move 2 is fantastic.
Buster Move 2, I tell you what, oh my god, I want to play that right now. I remember like first playing that and renting it out from my local video store and just like playing that over the weekend, and I was like staying up to stupidly early hours in the morning to defeat the bosses, because you could fight the bosses, couldn't you, like the split screen thing. So cool. So cool. I mean, yeah, it was all right, Beehive Bedlam, but it was no proper Buster Move.
Have you heard of Beehive Bedlam?
No idea.
So
no,
on our version of cable, basically, which is Sky, you could go through the menus and you could go to games, and there's Beehive Bedlam, and you could just use the D-pad on the remote to play this game.
And it was, you know, when Buster Move, Vince, you know what I'm talking about, where the
thing, and you fire it into the right place, and
just got to get the 3 color bubbles, and they burst. Like it was that, but it was bees, and you're shooting whatever you were shooting, but. Yeah, you're using your remote control on your TV. So I guess it introduced a whole load of people to that genre of game that hadn't played it before. And it was okay.
This Netflix thing isn't going to work. You're going to have dear Hilda living down the road who's only just got used to Netflix. And now it's like, I'm playing this game. I'm trying to play this game, Call of Duty, but I don't understand how to use the controller. I don't know what I'm like. No, come on now.
No, and let's be honest, Netflix, they already cancel their originals after like 3 or 4 seasons. So like, because at that point they don't make money. So if they're being that, cautious about it, you think they're really going to put the money into like making deals with developers or bringing original games to their streaming service? No. That's not
what worries me is they want to have games this year, and they've only just announced that they're doing this. What have they got in development, and how quickly are they going to rush that piece of trash out before?
All I want to hear from Netflix right now, I don't want to hear any of this game business. I want to just hear that they're making the things happen that need to happen, so we can transition the Daredevil series over to Disney Plus. And we can continue it over there because it's the best thing ever. And,
that's great.
Still haven't watched the Daredevil series because there isn't enough seasons of it. I want
There's 3 seasons.
Get on it, Adam. Seriously.
Does it finish
incredible
though? Does it
no,
have...
No, because it got cancelled. Like I don't think it was... it hasn't come out, but I don't think it was like Netflix's decision to cancel it. I think it was just a case of like, Disney were like, okay, like your time's up, because obviously they were launching Disney Plus, and like, no, you're not doing any more of that now. And I do believe that they want to, obviously all the fans petitioning to like keep it going, because it's just an awesome cast. It's like it's just so good. It's so good.
Yeah. Have you watched? Good.
Go on,
Have you watched Castlevania on there?
I haven't. I only watched the first couple of episodes and I loved it, but I've got to watch all of them through because that's so good.
It's great on season 3, and it's still just it's so good.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. I gotta get on that. But yeah, Adam,
you guys need to watch Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
That's a whole different streaming service.
Watch the first 2. Just watch the first 2 episodes of Daredevil, and that's it. And then come back.
Nope.
And then come back.
Because I don't want to get hooked on something that might not finish. It infuriates me beyond belief.
Just you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Trust me, Terry, I want to. I love
so goddamn good. So goddamn good.
I can't bring myself to, because I'm not the sort of person that will watch one episode a week. I'm on about I'll be there with red eyes, like
Yeah,
crumbs
that's
down
what I
my
did.
chest 3 seasons in. And I'll be like, I want more. I want
Yeah.
more.
When the first series came out, Daredevil, I watched it, the whole series, in like twice in like 4 days. It was ridiculous. I just watched it all through and then just done it all again. Because I'm a bit like Daredevil and Spider-Man are like my 2 favorite Marvel characters. Like in terms of the comics, like I just absolutely love the Daredevil. Like so when they were making a series,
If we brought Daredevil into the MCU in some way.
I don't know how they do it. I mean, I want them to do.
He's a bit shit compared to the story's gone a bit bigger than Daredevil now.
Exactly, and that's what I don't want from Daredevil. I want like Daredevil is the Batman from the MCU. You know, it's a lot darker. It's like very much like grounded. It's just focusing on one small part of New York, and it's just like, it's just God, so damn good though.
Because they're already bringing in like the obviously Daredevil's getting closer and closer to being in the MCU. Yeah. And now they've just done that video, obviously, to promote Free Guys, the film that Ryan Reynolds is doing, but they had Taika Waititi as Korg with Daredevil doing they react to the trailer. I don't know if you saw it. It's quite funny.
No, I've not seen it. But
it's quite funny. But obviously, so that's an MCU character and Daredevil on screen together.
Yeah.
Deadpool,
sorry. Not Daredevil.
Different character. Completely different character.
Yeah.
Right. You're talking about Deadpool. Okay.
Deadpool. Sorry, Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool.
Yeah.
So there's obviously it's getting closer to him being somehow involved in the MCU.
I'm sure though. I'm sure they're going to work that out now. You know, obviously having Fox, they'll
he's a rated R though. You can't do Daredevil as anything less than rated R.
Exactly. Deadpool. Yeah, you're talking about Deadpool.
Oh
right?
Man, I'm so tired.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
Yeah, but similarly, I mean, not quite rated R. Daredevil is on that verge, and that's what I want. You know, like the Daredevil series
he's like
is very
Punisher level, though, isn't he?
He's very violent. Yeah, that's what they say. Who's Punisher's Frank Castle, isn't it?
Frank Castle,
You know, what they say about Daredevil is like he's literally one bad day away from being Frank Castle. Like he's always on that limit. Like he will not kill people, but he will literally just break everybody in their body because he's just filled with rage. He's literally like in that series.
I'm the good guy.
He's literally just beating them down, like just absolutely just throwing them off buildings, whatever. He messes them up big time. It's good. It's good.
Anyway, go watch Loki before you start preaching about Daredevil.
I have got to watch Loki now because I know the finale's out and they're all there, all 6 episodes waiting for me. I think I'm going to have to binge them. And I shall do that. But enough of that and enough of this Shifty Crab news break, because that is it for another week from us. Do go check out our latest podcast episode, which, Adam, is titled...
What have I titled
I love throwing him on the spot with this every time.
What have I titled this episode?
I don't know.
Has that even been posted?
No, it's going up as of first thing tomorrow morning, as it has been my birthday.
By the time the time you see this, you will have you will see it on a YouTube channel.
It's called. Do I have it here? I think at the moment it's called Show and Tell. But it will have it'll have a punnier name by tomorrow.
We'll have to see. And this episode might be titled "Naked Swinging Dong Across Adam's."
Any update on that? Is he back? Is he just gone?
Yeah.
Let me just viciously stare out my window. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it still there?
Pitch black.
Okay.
Pitch black.
Okay.
He's gone now. Okay. Maybe he's learned his lesson.
It's past dong o'clock now.
It's past dong o'clock.
That's dong o'clock.
The dong has struck midnight.
Dong.
And it's goodbye from Mr. Adam Very.
Keep your trousers on, guys.
And it's also goodbye from Mr. Vince Haley.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Don't have something about dongs and then you say always a pleasure. After it's like those two things don't go together.
Always a pleasure, never a dong. And it's goodbye from me. And until next time, stay shifty.